She'd walked off by the time I realized how smoking she was. Then the video was about to start shooting, and I approached her again. "Okay," I said. "I beg your pardon. Earlier when you were introduced to me, I was stunned. I didn't have my words together. Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Ice." "I know. I'm Coco." I picked up right away that she's from the Valley. She's got that real soft Valley girl voice. "Coco," I said, "you're drop-dead gorgeous." "Thank you." For the video shoot, I had on a red snakeskin suit, red gaiters, black fedora. I never looked more like a pimp. And as always, being dressed like a pimp has me spitting game like a pimp. Would you ever consider dating a gangster rapper? She thought about it for a second. "Well, if he's nice." "Baby, you take the N off nice, you get ice." I know it sounds like a scripted line, but honestly, ain't nobody ever hit me with that opening before. I wouldn't even say that in a lyric. "Yo, I'm nice. Take away the N." Nah. I just freestyled it. I think the pimp god sent me that crazy-ass line. She burst out laughing. Then I qualified the customer. "I mean, am I bothering you here? Are you married? Is your boyfriend here?" "No, it's all good," she said, giving me the green light. We started kicking it. Coco told me she was a swimsuit model bouncing between L.A., Vegas, and Arizona. She'd done some work for Playboy. We were flirting. The banter was good. But then I put the brakes on the vibe. "Cool," I told her. "But I don't need just another number." Honestly, I wasn't sure what I was looking for. I wasn't looking for a quick hookup, and I wasn't looking for a relationship. I'd just come out of a 14-year relationship with Darlene. I didn't want to get back into that. The breaking up and drama wasn't something I was ready for. On the other hand, I can't front. Coco was hot. Fortunately, she'd been out there already. She'd been with the rich guys, been with the broke guys, been with the nice guys and the bad boys. She'd seen it all. Coco wasn't looking for another number either. Still, I had to take it slow. You can't come right out to tell a chick you just met, no matter how smoking, that you're really looking for a girl to hold you down, to be your co-pilot in life. People think Coco is the ultimate party chick, but she's not. She's much more of a stay-at-home and scrub-the-kitchen sink type chick. I found that out a few weeks after I met her. She came to New York with one of her friends to visit me. We were hanging out one afternoon watching the game on TV. And while I'm sitting there with my friend Mickey, for some reason, Coco starts to vacuum my house. Came through the whole crib, getting the dust out of every nook and cranny. After she vacuumed, my carpet looked brand new. I looked at Mickey and said, "What the fuck is going on here?" That's a lesson that took me a while to learn. When a woman wants you, she'll move on you domestically. If you're dating a chick and she won't pick up one of your socks, she doesn't give a fuck about you. She just wants a meal. But once a girl starts cooking for you, reorganizing your clothes closet, it means she wants you. Too often, men don't have the first clue about what's going through a woman's mind. When a woman comes over and starts vacuuming and folding the towels in your bathroom, she's planning on moving in. We had a good weekend, but we were still in the casual dating phase. The next time she came back for about 12 days. This was like a test run going full throttle in ice mode. She came to the set of Law and Order. She came with me while I gave a college lecture. She went to an Ice-T hip-hop show. Basically, she had to run at my speed. Like Rakeem says, "No time to comb your hair, baby. Brothers is busting at me." I didn't plan it that way. That was just my week's schedule, but it was a little exercise in keeping up with me. She passed with flying colors. She didn't want to be left at home for a minute. If I had to get up at 5 in the morning to get to the set, she got up at 5 in the morning. She was getting ready in 20 minutes. She knew how to change her vibe from dressing sexy fly for the rap concert to the more conservative lecture circuit to being stylish but understated on the set of SVU. The days flew by. When it came time to head back home, she looked sad. We were already at the airport gate. "What's up?" I said. "You don't want to go home?" "No." We stood at the gate in silence for a while. Okay then, I said. We'll have to take this to the next level. When she was back west, I spent a few days in a haze. I was tripping. I'd never been in this situation in my life because now I was stationed in New York working a job with long-ass hours, and I liked the chick on the other side of the country. I couldn't bounce. My shooting schedule on Law & Order had me tethered to New York City. So I called Coco and told her to come back to New York, and this time to bring a lot more clothes. I didn't plan on her becoming my Sharon Osbourne right away. She just naturally started to handle all my daily scheduling, organization, and communications. At that point, Shawnee Sean was acting as my personal assistant. He was living at my crib, running everything day to day. About a week after Coco came out to New York, I saw Sean packing his bags in the spare bedroom. "What up, homie?" "Yo, man, I'm out," Sean said. "You don't need me no more. She got this." This was the first time in my life when I entered into a relationship with a woman fully knowing what I wanted, what I expected, and most important, how to communicate it to her. In life, I've learned, whatever you want from your woman, know that's what you want. Then fucking tell them. If you want a girl that brings home girls, tell them. You may not get the girl you want, but eventually you'll find a girl who'll do that. Might as well be upfront and say, "Baby, I'm looking for a chick that's going to bring home chicks." But you better know that's what you really want, because that's a whole fucking world in its own. Dealing with 2 girls or 3 girls, all that bullshit. Don't get me wrong, that's fun to do when you're single. That will not work in a relationship. People think of Ice and Coco as always pushing the limits. People think we party all the time. But practically the only time they snap pictures of us is when we're at some red carpet premiere, or we're clubbing, and she's got on some fluorescent pink micro mini and matching stiletto. Yo, that's how everybody dresses when they're clubbing. Like I told her from the jump, I didn't need another number. I didn't need another party chick. I needed a woman full time in my life and in my career. I wanted that Sharon Osbourne, that co-pilot, but I'd never tried it out before. This was a complete 180 for my mental. I was hardwired to feel that having someone help me like that would make me less strong. It didn't take long for Coco and me to start working together before I realized how much I loved it. I've got a pretty short attention span for the mundane details of life. I'm the type of dude that feels I don't really need to know what's happening 3 Sundays from now. I don't need to know what's happening next Sunday. When I wake up in bed next to Coco, I just need to know what I have to do today. And then by the middle of the day, let me know what's happening tomorrow. I tell her to leak it to me bit by bit, once I'm already up and rolling. By now, she knows what I'll do, what I won't do, and she knows how to diplomatically decline offers that I just don't have time for. The biggest problem when we started working together was my communication style. A lot of times I would chop her head off. It wasn't personal. It's the way I get sometimes. I can be abrupt as fuck. I was used to telling Shawnee Sean how to get shit done in as few words as possible. And we've been boys for so long, we'd dispense with the niceties like please and I very much appreciate it. I'd be abrupt with Coco, and then I'd see it affecting her. I'd see her puppy up thinking I was angry with her. No, baby. That's just the tone I use when I'm in business mode. Over time, we worked out some codes. Now we've got on the clock and off the clock. That means during the day, we're doing business. And a lot of the formalities, the politeness, just ain't in the mix. I'll say, "Yo, Coco, call so-and-so." Turn around, and she's already dialing the cell. We go off the clock at night, and the formalities and all the respect that's necessary in a marriage comes back. It's hard to be overly polite in business. You gotta just get into it. Get shit done. And being as direct as possible is essential for me. That makes doing business with someone you love an even greater challenge. Relationship-wise, a lot of times your partner gets into a funky mood, and you want to do everything in your power to make your partner happy. You'll try to apologize, try to fix it, but there's nothing you can do about it. Coco and me just say, "Yo, it's not you. I'm dealing with something." A lot of times you just need to cycle through situations. You need 30 minutes to work through the mood and tell your partner not to personalize it. My earlier relationships were structured different. What I learned was that if you want to be with somebody, you can't let weeks go by where you don't communicate. With Coco, when we're off the clock, we try to talk all the time. People are always asking, what's the thing that holds you guys together? They think that it's love or sex or companionship. I say admiration. Love is a great thing, but you also have to admire your mate. When I go on one of her modeling shoots, I watch her working and think, yo, Coco is the bomb. When I'm rapping or doing my thing as an actor, she says, that's just Ice. He can do that shit. I don't mean this to sound too corny, but when you admire your partner, when neither one feels subservient to the other, then you actually feel like teammates. It becomes a real-life Bonnie and Clyde, ride or die dynamic. It's tough sometimes in the heat of a relationship to remember that y'all are teammates and not opponents, allies, not enemies. A successful marriage is built on the realization that the other person helps the overall situation, that they've got your back no matter what. With Coco and me both being in the public eye, snapped by paparazzi and eavesdropped on by gossip hounds, we need to approach things as a team. Our moves have to be strategic. We try to plan which one of us would be better for certain things. Even simple shit, like getting a room at a hotel. Who would be better for that task? If there's a guy at the front desk, maybe he'll react better to Coco. If there's a woman, she may react better to me. She might have some hostility to Coco. Oh, I don't like that bitch. Fuck her. We're still players. I mean, we're legit players now. And part of being players is knowing that there's a strength in the feminine side and a strength in the masculine side. Knowing how to use whoever is better for the task. She's much better at answering phones, scheduling meetings, and has better people skills than me. No matter how hard I try to work on it, I'm always very short with people. I don't like phones at all. Maybe it goes back to my days hustling when we looked at every phone call as a liability. When you're hustling, you try not to say shit that could be recorded or intercepted by the cops. And as so many gangsters found out, being too chatty on the phone can get your fucking ass locked up for life. People always ask Coco and me, how do you keep it hot? How do you keep things exciting in the bedroom? It's very simple. I have to find out what turns her on, and I've got to be willing to do it. And she has to ask me what I like and be willing to do it. If you find somebody you're attracted to, you're going to have to tell them exactly what buttons to push. You can't expect them to know it. If you've both been through serious relationships previously, remember that what worked in the past isn't necessarily going to work in your current relationship. If you're willing to give that person what he or she needs, your sex life will always be good. If your mate wants something but you're not willing to give it, do you think he or she stops wanting it? Hell no. You better recognize that this is something that your partner will keep looking for, outside the relationship if necessary. Hopefully you'll find someone who can accommodate everything you need. One thing about Coco, she's very in touch with her sexuality. I don't understand why a lot of women see that as a fault. I see that sexiness as her power. The details of our relationship and how we've made it work, given each other satisfaction, happiness, and peace for 10 years now, is enough to fill a whole other book. It's not always easy to have two interlocking show business careers, but it helps to remember one thing. At the end of the day, we've got one bank account. If that account is fat, we livin'. If it's short, we ain't. We both have to generate money. Coco is not one of those chicks who feels comfortable with the man making most of the money. That's why she's got a clothing line and runs her website, because she likes to put money in the kitty. I respect that. She even appeared on Law and Order and landed a couple of small speaking roles. And it wasn't like I was angling for her to get any parts. The producers would be looking to cast a chick and they'd say, no, she can't be too skinny, can't look like a fashion model. She should be blonde, fit, and have curves, you know, like Coco. And they'd point at Coco, since she's almost always by my side on the set. One time, instead of saying, you know, like Coco, a producer said, hey, why don't we just use Coco for this?